Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to be discussing the LKT formula. Also, sometimes I say LKT factor, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to show you how important this is to keep your pipeline of your business full of clients, those who want to pay, those who are getting ready to pay, and those who are on the, I would say, building up to pay. Okay, because you do have cycles within your pipeline. So let's get into it. The LKT formula basically is the like, know, trust factor. If you are able to establish the like, know, trust factor in your branding and how you present yourself, how you show up in the world, how you show up for your business, you are going to have a lot of success. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, especially in the age and the era that we're in. We are in the era of personal brands. We're in the era of digital products, okay? And so what that basically means is people gravitate more towards personal brands where there's a face, a voice that goes alongside a company, more so than brands that don't have a brand to it or a face to it or a personality, right? In this day and age, if let's say, for example, a business like Coke came out, Coca-Cola would struggle a lot because they don't have a personal brand. They don't have a face. Nowadays, in the era of social media, you also have it to where people are looking for referrals. They're looking for, hey, this worked for me. If you have this kind of skin, then this product is for you. Look at what it did. Here's a before, here's an after. We love that stuff. And it really helps us to believe in the products that we're purchasing now to have a personal person behind it. With that said, I want you to know as well that faceless brands do exist. They are able to thrive. And still, the like, know, trust factor has to absolutely be there. So, for example, if you say a personal brand like Jackie Aina, for example, she's in the beauty space, she's the influencer, and now she's gone from YouTube or YouTuber to a candle business. And now recently she launched fragrances and everybody knows her face. They know her voice. She's established, that trust factor that she's always going to deliver. She always gives the girls what we want, okay? The makeup, the application, this product is good, this product is not good. And one of the things that she did to really buy people's trust was even if she was a brand partner or if she wasn't a brand partner, she always told the truth about specific products. And it really just built up that I like you. I like her. That's like me. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I might tell you a joke, but I won't tell you a lie. Okay. So that's how she built up her brand. That's a brand with a face, a personal brand specifically, where she was able to go off of YouTube into the stores like Sephora and Ulta with her brand. Now you also have an example would be Duolingo. Duolingo is an app for those of you who want to learn a different language. The thing with Duolingo is their brand is with a bright neon green owl. And this owl is very pretentious, sassy, and a bit bossy. That's the personality that they've given the owl and has shown through on their social media. So even though there's not a specific face on that brand, there is a mascot that they use to really build that interaction and build that like, know, and trust factor within the business. It does not matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're brand new or you're not new, this works. And the reason why is because it's psychology. It just connects to the human brain. If I like you, if I feel like I like you, I enjoy you, I approve of you, or a certain thing, then that allows me to get to know you, right? We may not know someone as much as we think we do, but because our brains will fill in the blank, we will take what we're given and then fill up those pockets. And now we feel like we know that person. Okay. And so that knowing gives us a sense of connection. And it could be personal, it could be social, but connection, right? And whatever we are receiving, we feel like that is the truth. That is a fact, right? And so now we feel like we know this person. Then that now allows us to trust. Well, I know she wouldn't lie to me. I know he wouldn't tell me about a product that wouldn't work. This, and not one arena is greater than the other. They all work in tandem together. They have this wonderful, beautiful flow. And for some people, when it comes to your business, especially, for example, if they're seeing you on social media, they're going to like you right off the bat. They just need one post. That's it. They like you. They'll follow you. And then for some people, they just need one post and they will unfollow you. And that's okay. We don't want anyone hanging around that wouldn't want to do business with us anyway. Good riddance. Okay. So if they like you, great. If they don't like you or they decide to unfollow you, great. Make more room for those who want you and want to get to know you. So they'll stay around, they'll look at your content, they'll start engaging with your content, they'll be watching your stories. You'll have those regulars in your stories. They're always there. They're always there every day. And they'll even heart it or respond to you and things like that in your DMs. So now that I feel like I know you, I want to see if I can trust you. And I'm going to give you some practical steps on how to do this, okay? And the number one key to this is storytelling. And you can tell stories through your feed, through the type of content you post, and also the things that you literally say. Can I trust you? Just like an example of Jackie, we felt like we could trust her aesthetic, because we liked her home, the parts that she does show. We liked how she would be put together when she would go to an event. We liked her taste in the things that she bought. Okay, this is nice. Then when she would now come and she would say, this product was terrible. Their marketing was terrible. It was not inclusive of all skin tones. The formula is very drying. When she started speaking very frankly about products that she could absolutely lose money from or lose a contract with, but she was still willing to take that risk, that trust was built up. And so that's how you're going to do it. That is the way you're really going to make this thing work for you. Whether you're doing business online or offline, it works. If you're faceless or you're face forward facing, like you're showing your face, it works. Let me give you another example, and then I'm going to move into the practicalities. There is a gentleman by the name of Khaby Lame. Now, Khaby Lame, I'm old enough to know Mr. Bean. And Mr. Bean is a gentleman in the UK who had a TV show. He's a comedian, but he had a TV show and he never spoke a word. But he has worldwide renown. He has multiple movies. Even those movies have been turned into a cartoon series, which is so hilarious, right? And he's never spoken a word, but you know his face. And so Khaby, I believe, took a page out of Mr. Bean's portfolio and applied it to himself. He blew up on TikTok. This guy is everywhere and he's doing so well, making income, yes, making impact as well. And one of the things that Khaby does is he consistently shows up online. He has videos that he's, found or maybe someone sent to him. And the videos are showing people doing things in a wasteful, like a time wasting or overly complicated way. So then what he will do is he'll show the video and then he'll come in the screen, he'll go get the components, and then he'll do the same thing the person in the video just did in a simpler way. And then when he's done, he says, okay, let me make sure you can see me. That's what he says. We like people who are not complicated. It just makes life easy. We know that this guy is going to show us something that is very simple. And we know that we have a connection with him, okay? And we feel like this guy has some brains. He has common sense. You know, they say common sense ain't that common. Mm-hmm. And we trust that he's always going to have the same reaction. And he's always going to just state the obvious. He is Captain Obvious, okay? And because of that, he has been able to build a brand. So let's go into how you can very easily establish the LKT formula. And okay, so let's get into this. Consistency is the way you're going to really build up the like, no, trust factor, because if you're consistent on how you show up, then I can rely on you. I can trust that you're going to tell me the truth until you don't. Hopefully you never do, but I'm just saying. You're always showing up. I know you're going to be on Instagram. I know you're going to post something interesting, something beautiful, something that shows my dream life, something that I aspire to, or I can count on you to give me what I need. It's with them. What's in it for me? So you, as a brand, are giving the people what they want consistently. That is going to build that like, no, and trust factor until it topples over into boiling point and they start purchasing from you. Being consistent also goes into how you show up, how your branding, your brand colors, your brand voice, tone. I know some people, they have a very exciting, upbeat brand. So any deviation from that, and it's like, who are you? What's this about? This is not what I came here for. And you may say that's selfish, and it is, because we are, human beings and can be very complicated. But the truth is, consistency is key in your actions and how you show up. I was literally went to a gathering the other day, and a young lady that follows me on Facebook was like, here she is, Dr. Faith, the doctor. What did she say? I always go on Facebook for my daily dose of faith. That's what she said. I said, I'm stealing that. I will give you your props, but I'm totally stealing that. And she was like, I don't need any props. I just love how you show up and your branding, and you're always on top, and lashes and all these things. And I'm like, yes, she gets it and she's seeing it. So I always love that. I appreciate that. And that's my girl. That's my friend. So for her to say that is like, right? But why is she saying that? Because I'm consistent. I'm always going to show up. Hair done, nails done. If it's not done, we're going to do it together. I'm talking about something I found, or something is happening and I want my people to know. So come, gather, right? So that's a way to build that LKT, okay? Making eye contact. Now, of course, when you're talking about making eye contact, you don't want to just stare somebody down and never blink and just keep looking at them and you're just talking and you're never changing your eyesight and you're just going and going, and it's like, whoa, break, like time out, right? But then you also don't want to never look at the camera. Beauty influencers do this really well. For example, they will be like applying their makeup and they'll be looking at the mirror and then they'll kind of stop and look at the camera. Nonverbal communication. What do y'all think? And then go back to the mirror and keep going, right? It's to make sure that you continue in the connection that you're making with them, especially on live videos. And even if you go live and you're not sitting down talking or explaining or breaking something down, you can go live and just show, your surroundings. You're at the park, you're taking a walk with your dog, and you're like, hey, y'all. But, you got to pay attention to the trail because you don't want to trip and fall. It's cool. It's just, turn your camera, they can see what you see, and the whole thing. But it's connection. And it's just making sure that they see you, you see them, and it keeps going. Next up, we have tonality and emotions. Now, tonality and emotions, people think that it's just, what you say. It's not always just what you say. It's also how you say it. Is there emotion? Is there fire? Is there passion? Is there, conviction behind what you're saying? If you say, I have this program, I have this course, and it is changing people's lives, and you have this excitement and you're convinced, and I know I've signed up for it. I'm going through it right now. You have not seen anything yet. You're like breaking out, busting out. You are this 6-figure chick and you are about to make things happen. You're saying that with such emotion and passion and fire and vigor. It's like, yes, we believe you, whatever you say. Yes, that's the tonality. That's the emotions. And people sometimes think that it's just what you say. No, it's also what you write in the captions, what you write on your website, what you write on your landing page, even your written communication is tonality and emotion. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but there are certain brands that are quite moody. They're moody. Their language is moody, how they show up, their pictures, all that stuff is very mysterious, right? But they're consistent in that. And they know this is how this person shows up. This is how this brand shows up. And they can trust that they're going to show up like that. Then you have other brands that are very exciting and invigorating and thrilling. And it's always this up, 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 up. And it's consistent. When you go to the website, you feel up, you feel invigorated, you feel exciting, it feels interesting, right? When you go to the landing page, when you see them out in real life, because that happens, and not saying you have to be a robot, but you'll run into people and, that bright and inviting tone and way about you, they can feel it. Like, that's the real deal. Like, that's how he is. That's who he really is. Again, solidifying that like, no trust factor. Okay. When it comes to confidence, especially my beautiful introverts, I love y'all, and my ambiverts too sometimes. Confidence is not about having designer. It's not about having the prettiest house, the cleanest car. I mean, I've seen people who have gone viral, who have built brands, and they didn't have much, but now they got a lot. And it's like, wow, look at what consistency has done for you. They're like a walking, talking billboard for success and how consistency can literally change your life. So confidence doesn't come from those things. It comes from what's going on inside of you. What are you telling yourself when you post, when you're creating content, when you're, working on your videos and things of that nature? Because all of that affects what you're thinking, and whatever you're thinking is going to affect the emotions that radiate from you. And yes, it flows all the way into what you create and what you post. People can feel it. So confidence, you have to do the work of building yourself up. This is psychology now, psych yourself out. When I post this post is going to make me $3,000 today. I'm going to help 10 people today. 10 people are going to DM me. They're going to respond back to me. They're going to send me an email like, I want your program. I want your course. I need a consultation. Can you walk me through this? Like 10 people are going to interact with me today from this post. And you psych yourself up and you amp yourself up. You can feel it. You can feel it. That's where confidence comes from. There's a brand, and I don't want to stay too long on this, but she's since passed. But before she passed, this girl grew up in small rural Alabama, heavyset her whole life. She has a gap and curly natural hair, and she just never wanted to get on camera. But she wanted to make a difference, and she wanted to make an impact in the lives of herself and others. She has a powerful story where she wasn't making any money at her job and she got fired still. I was like, wait a minute, this is not cool. Something has to change. I'm going to study Instagram and be a master at Instagram. What gave her the audacity? Don't know, don't care. She became. She had that business where she now hired her brother. Her brother worked with her. Her husband was doing part-time work for her. She retired her mom. She got rid of her, I don't know what kind of car it was, but it was not cute, and got herself upgraded to a BMW. Hey, all the BMW peoples, like myself. But her story was that she would not go live and show her face. It would be a black screen. And she would say, listen, I don't want to come on screen. She would tell us, I don't want to come on screen. I don't want to deal with what comes with me coming on camera. You won't see my face, but you will see my results. You will see what I can do for you. You will see how I can make things happen for you, and because I'm making things happen for myself. Well, sure, let me listen. And she would show pictures of herself on her profile and things like that, but she never showed her face on camera until one day she did. So what am I saying? You can grow in confidence. You do need to be intentional, but grow in it. Allow yourself to become a different version of yourself today than you were yesterday. Do things that are uncomfortable. And when you do them, you can literally say to yourself, I did this super duper uncomfortable thing. If I did that, then I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that. And it just builds. Confidence comes from successes, little bitty successes, building and compounding over time until you have no other choice but to be confident in what you bring to the table. Okay? All right. So lastly on here, we have storytelling visually. Now I'm going up, and this one is really important because a lot of times we do things in a one-dimensional way, but don't feel limited to that. Spice it up. Let people play on people's makeup. Play to the human factor of the humans you're reaching. Okay. So storytelling visually. And this is really about the psychology of selling and really understanding that the best businesses aren't the businesses that are run by geniuses. The best businesses are businesses that are run by emotionally intelligent individuals. In other words, emotionally intelligent people have learned not only themselves, but have learned others. And so the things that they do always play to our human nature, while yet still changing us. And Steve Jobs was so good at this. He was so good at this. And he would introduce new things to us that some people argue you don't really need an iPad, but guess what? It's everywhere now, even in my office. But he would use visuals. So when you're doing your stories, when you're doing videos, some of us, you may be working on a budget. And so you can get an editor to add a couple things to your videos, especially if you're doing talking head videos for social media. Or if you don't have a budget for an editor, use your phone, use CapCut, and that's in a different module, show you how to do some of those cool things. But allow people to come with you. Use the hook to get their attention, and then let the visuals also allow them to stay with you. So I like to sometimes have, especially in my stories, I'll put captions on the videos so it'll show on the screen. Studies show, statistics show that people stay longer and watch them. People who don't play the audio will watch it all the way through and sometimes over again. And then also it appeals to certain audiences that are impaired in some type of way. And of course, it plays to that visual aspect, okay? A lot of people love the fact that when we create the course, we create it very aesthetically pleasing. So as you're going through the course or you're promoting the course, you can absolutely take a screenshot and put it in your stories and say, I'm on module such and such, and it is going so good. This is so in alignment with what I know and who I'm, born to be. And people are like, okay, what are you talking about? What is that? They're curious. They want to know, like, that's, a nice graphic. Why? Because it's visual. We like, one of my chef friends says that we don't eat with our mouth. We eat with our eyes. If it looks good, we are going to eat it. And when it tastes bad, even though it was pretty, we will continue to eat it because it messes up our pattern. It's a pattern interrupt. Okay. So next up is keep your visuals the same. And when we say that, what we're basically saying is keep it clean. Keep it clean in that you are sticking with specific fonts. You are, if you're a darker, moody aesthetic, stick with it. If you're a lighter aesthetic, stick with it. If you are, what is it called? Like neutrals, really neutral intense, stick with it. Let the fonts be consistent and the colors be consistent. Because when people see it, they're like, that's my guy. That's my girl. They're anticipating you. They trust that is how you look, how you show up. Okay. So keep it clean, and definitely pretty for the eyes. Also, next up on visual storytelling is screenshots of income. Now, you are able to get some screenshots of income from the Content Vault. And the reason why we put that in there is because for those of you who you're just getting started, you don't really have any results yet, you're not saying, oh, this is what I made, because you haven't made anything yet, which is totally fine. We all have to start somewhere. But you can use what's in the vault, in the Content Vault, to now say, wow, look at the possibilities. Wow, by next year, I'm going to be here, 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 here. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. Like, you can cast a vision and people will go with you and people will follow you, right? You can use that income. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want to show people what I'm making and I don't want people to be in my pocket and all this stuff. Totally understandable. But as an entrepreneur, to some degree, you're going to have to move past that so you can show people what is possible. You can show them the potential. You can show them that this is a real thing and people are getting real results and people are literally retiring their moms, paying for their kids' college. They're literally paying off their cars and buying new cars and doing these crazy, incredible things and paying off debt in less than a year. And we're talking about hundreds of $1,000s of debt. Show them so they can see that. And then if you are making money, just do it every once in a while. You'll be surprised the type of influx of people that you'll get, because again, wealth is a big niche, a big industry. Okay. Next up, we have ad graphics. Again, you can use Canva is great. You can use CapCut. If you're in like the Instagram app, you can use the Instagram app. Make sure you check that out in the module. We break it down and I show you literally inside of my Instagram, so you can look and see, right? Again, one thing that I've noticed that I like to do and people respond to it is like if I see a post or I see an article, I'll screenshot it and then I'll put it in my stories and then I'll have text underneath, or I'll do a green screen and like, make commentary or what have you about it. And a lot of times I try to do it to where it's complimentary to my brand, but then sometimes it's just like so like out there that I'm like, oh no, I'm talking about it, right? But again, like no trust. They have similar values, they have similar beliefs, they reacted and responded similarly, then they're more likely to build that up with me, right? And last but not least, and we kind of talked about this a little bit in this income section, is social proof. Here's the thing. Social proof is just, it works. It works. That's why the income piece is so powerful. That's why telling other people's stories is so powerful. That's why telling your story is so powerful. Okay. I'm looking at my notes here, but your biggest thing is going to come from showing people signed up with you, showing that people are enrolling in the course, how many people are enrolled in the course, what the community looks like, what you learn from the community. Like, people always want to be a part of the crowd. They don't want to be left out. And so when you're giving that social proof, you're saying, hey, boom, here's proof of concept. It just allows the walls to come down and allows them to buy into you and thereby eventually buy your product. So this is a big, big deal when it comes to marketing, when it comes to selling, when it comes to downright being effective in what it is that you have to offer. If you can use these tools and, of course, use those different factors we discussed previously in this, you will see how sticky you become, how much people love to be with you, do business with you, engage with you, and everything that you put out. Literally, you have the Midas touch if you can establish the like, know, and trust